Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of today, October 31st, Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody, through Saturday to come November 6th. And I want to get started by mentioning very quickly that some of you on my personal Facebook page under my government name may have seen that I, this weekend, Sunday edition, am on the cover of a very prestigious section of a very prestigious newspaper, like worldwide, this weekend for one of the projects that I'm working on. And this is one of the things, or this sort of thing, the fact that my real life is like that, is one of the things that I don't want to use the word upset, makes me upset about YouTube. But this is one of the things that bothers me, that disturbs me about the fact that I'm unable to reach as many of you, not only as I want to, but as I used to, the just all the mess that goes on my channel. And, maybe it would be better if I had more time to put into fooling with it. But I don't, but I get upset. I'm using the word upset. It's not really upset. It's not the right word, but, because upset implies that like I'm walking around holding it, I'm unsettled. That's not the case. But I do wish that I could reach you guys. I'm not on here doing this because, like I'm broke, I'm trying to make money off you, especially with the lack of views. I mean, obviously that's not money. I'm not making any money on here. I'm not broke. I'm not bored. It's not that I don't have anything to do with my time. My real life is super, super busy. And, I don't need clout. Like I said, my real life, I people know who I am, at least in my circles, in my real life. So I'm not on here for any of those reasons. I'm truly on here to deliver messages because I can, because I'm a real psychic, because I'm a real angelic, because I'm a real incarnated and ascended master. Because I'm a real twin flame, because I'm a real Illumined one, so that's why I'm here trying to give these messages. And it just pisses me off when I experience some of the things that I do in my real life. It's like, I don't want this to come off conceited, because I'm totally not. And that's really the point of what I want to say, is that it's because I'm not. A lot of people, that do the types of things that I do, or of my social, or maybe even like political, as far as being like an activist and stuff, stature, would not, stop to take the time, are not as down to earth as me. Maybe I put it that way. And, willing to still try to help as many people as they can, and, willing to talk to anybody. I got, friends from all walks of life, from homeless to the super rich and all that kind of stuff. It's just frustrating is probably a good word, why I get so frustrated with the fact that I can't reach everybody. But it is a positive thing, so I don't want to sound sad or whatever, but it's a positive thing that this proposal that I am working on, or that I've been working on with a couple of my friends / colleagues, is really gaining momentum. And so my good friend and I, again, like I said, were interviewed, and our pictures and our interview made this very prestigious section of this very prestigious paper today. Anywho, let's get to the reading. It's going to bother me if like when I see the view. Anyway, let me try to move on. We started with the dice, and it's 50-50. Oh, speaking of my social media, let me say this too. Because some of you may be like, oh, she does have personal. Listen, the same way the crazy stuff happens with my YouTube and with my Queen of Swords stuff. I have people telling me, I can't find your Patreon page. I can't find your YouTube page. I can't find. It's crazy. well, the same thing happens with my personal page. I had this woman that I had accepted. I mean, I don't know her. I had accepted her years ago from my Queen of Swords page. And she was telling me that she contacted me once, I guess from a new page, and asked me why I had blocked her. And I'm like, blocked you? Like, first of all, if you know me, I don't even do stuff like that. Like, the people that I have blocked is like people, you know, like those people that are trying to steal your information and stuff like that. When I get like those stupid emails about, hey, have you heard the news from Facebook? He's giving away a bunch of money and stuff. I block. But as far as blocking people because I don't like them or whatever, that's not me. So anyway, I'm like, blocked you? Like, I didn't block you. Anyway, she had to go to her own page and turn out, and I was blocked on her end. And she was like, but I didn't block you. And I'm like, I didn't know I was blocked. And, you know, like that kind of stuff happens. And people drop off. And same thing on my YouTube. People drop off. And just recently, I started getting notifications from people who apparently friend requested me like 4 years ago. So just so you know, I haven't ignored anybody. I haven't blocked anybody. I haven't done any of that. But it's possible that it's happened. So if you've been trying to reach me and you've been unable and you thought it was because of something I did, it's not. So, you know, try again or you email me. That's probably the easiest way. I'll get that. Queenofswordsthelightworker at gmail.com. All right. All right. So now the dice. It's 50-50, massage, and eat cake. We're celebrating. Today's one of my good girlfriend's birthdays, actually. Halloween is my friend Pate's birthday. Oh, it's also my friend Paula's birthday. I'm sure it's many other people's birthday. So happy birthday to the Scorpios out there. And if somebody's celebrating something else, congratulations or whatever is appropriate for you as well. Spirit says yes. Dirty movie. And still eat cake. With the cards. All right, so we're starting with the King of Pentacles. And he's in reverse. And I really feel like this is the real person for at least one somebody out there. Maybe an actual earth sign. Maybe an actual male. If not an earth sign. Or even if he is an earth sign. It's possible that he's not an earth sign, but he's like well-to-do or, you know, has a good job or is particularly generous, a combination of those things. But he could be both. He could be an earth sign and somebody that has a good job, you know, especially, actually, earth signs often do, right? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They're hard workers and stuff like that. So that would, but he's like out of sorts. And I don't know, I'm just been getting something like romantic from this king. I guess it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be friendship, platonic, or maybe even business. But like, he's wanted to like partner with you, you know, somehow, or but he just doesn't know how to approach the situation, even as professional as he is and accomplished as he is. That's why I'm thinking, why I'm feeling it's romantic. I think he doesn't know how to approach the situation, and I think he may have waited too long. But you know who hasn't? The Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is here. I did not know he was here. But it looks like where this guy leaves off or fails, this one triumphs. If two people have been competing for your attention, or if one of these is you and you've been competing against somebody for something, it's the Knight of Cups that prevails. So maybe the one who is not as successful or wealthy or well-to-do or doesn't have as good a job, or maybe not even a job at all, like the underdog. And maybe that underdog is an actual water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And again, possibly an actual male. And again, possibly this is a romantic situation. But this is the one who succeeds. This is the victor. And it may be around Christmas time. Maybe as we get closer to, like, something may start now, this week. but culminating around, I've never really paid attention to this wreath, like ever, but just now it just like, you know, really jumped out into my face. So there could be a Christmas connection. Speaking of Christmas, I'm going to talk after I do the cards about a few things, as I always do. One of them being the start of the month of Kislev on the Hebrew calendar, which is when where Hanukkah falls. And I just think it's okay to say Happy Hanukkah and to say Merry Christmas. You don't have to say Happy Holidays, in my opinion. They're not the same holidays. They're not even at the same time. They're often not at the same time. They tend not to be in the same, even when they're near each other, they tend not to be on the same days. Same thing with Kwanzaa. It starts the day after Christmas. So you can say, you know, and a number of other things. You could say, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and everything else. You know, what other holidays there are. You can recognize those too. We've gotten to, I don't know what the word is right now. But I'm going to talk about Kislev after. So that just made me think about it. With the energy deck, starting with action, and that may be because, so Mars last week entered Scorpio. But it was toward the end of the week, like Friday. So this may be when it really like kicks in. And the 19th is a full moon and lunar eclipse in Taurus. But I'm wondering if something else also ends around then. Like, why would that be rest and rejuvenation? But I don't know, it just came out to me that it has something to do with the actual date of the 19th. But this is also saying, like, you know, like sleep, kind of like sleep when you're dead. Like you have to take action, you have to do this work and stuff. And then when you're done with that, then you can rest. And like it just, you know, you can rest and recover. But take care of your business first. So I guess that would fall into this week. And that 19th day may be an additional message. I don't know. I'm going to talk about the planetary calendar after I do the cards too. And last but not least, with the Angel and Animal Tarots, we're starting with Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, which represents the planet Mercury, which also moves into Scorpio this week. So just finished talking about how Mars entered Scorpio last week, or around Friday. This week, I think it's Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. We'll go over it. After I'm done with the cards, Mercury enters Scorpio as well. On the same day, it's the 5th actually, it just came to me. It's the 5th, and on the same day, Venus enters Capricorn. So we'll talk about both of those. But that may be why this Magician is showing up. Scorpio is going to have the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Mars. Yeah, quite a bit of action in there in Scorpio right now. Anyway, you are ready, so you can handle it. You have the resources, quite a bit of action. This is the action card. And you're ready, like I said. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. The Magician most directly represents the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by the planet Mercury, along with Virgo. But I think in addition to that, this could be about somebody trying to work some sort of magic on you. This period right now, this week, the next week, you know, for the next coming weeks. Actually, Hanukkah it's a feast of light over dark, light versus dark, similar to Diwali, which starts this week. Today, Halloween, All Hallows Eve. You know, there's Day of the Dead type celebrations all over the world, including, you know, in Christian faiths, it's an actual feast day, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, all occurring this week. I'll talk about those after the card too. So anyway, I say all this to say this is a time when the veil between the realms, the spirit realm, and you know, that of the departed and ours is very thin. And some people try to take advantage, at least, of, you know, these times, as well as new moons, and then the full moon to follow. So new moon is on the 4th in Scorpio, and then, like I said, the full moon, and there'll be a lunar eclipse with that full moon in Taurus on the 19th. So people will be trying to take advantage and practicing different, you know, dark arts, perhaps. And this could definitely be somebody trying to, like, steal or drain your energy, or your shine, your light, because this is, you know, you, or we could look at this as them. We're trying to work some kind of magic or roots on you. And that is showing up in the form of this 7 of Swords. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. The 7 of Swords is a card of thievery and loss. You know, I say that it represents the energy of joy stealing, because sometimes this can be about us too, and we can steal our own joy when we don't realize, for example, that we're the magician. Like when we lack confidence in, you know, our abilities and things like that, we miss opportunities because, oh, I can't do it, I'm not up to it. And you don't realize that you are. Then you rob yourself. You steal from yourself. Opportunity. All right, so those are what we got. And we're going to use these first. So, look. There's a reason why normally I shuffle these as I'm talking. I didn't today. I just realized that I didn't. But as I was pushing them away, look what's there. The first card, envy. So like I said, somebody maybe not so happy about your light, jealous about it, and wanting to take it from you. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. That's the crown chakra. That's what Mercury and the energy of Gemini rules, is the crown chakra. There was somebody trying to block messages from you, leave you confused. All right, so just be aware of that. You know, and being aware of that, really just if you, this is disappointment, possible something weird going on too, like maybe somebody causing you to drop your cups. But being aware of that can just mean, like, if you remain confident, you know, like that you are the magician and you have these, you know, the ability to accomplish what it is. You stay positive and you don't let anything deter you. You should be okay. All right, I think the King of Swords is a good place to stop since we were talking about Mercury and stuff. Overall energy of the world. I'm going to get the stands here. There we go. Card most directly representing the collective this week. 2 of Cups. Knew I felt romance. That Knight of Cups coming for somebody. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, something, you know, going on at the job or something surrounding you. Wow. 2 of Wands. Okay. That's the partnership that I was saying. Somebody wanted to be in partnership and maybe they're competing for partnership. Well, boom. 2 of Wands, of course, also the twin flame card of the tarot. So seeing these two next to each other for somebody, this is definitely about love, relationship, work and finance. Knight of Swords in reverse. Love and relationship specifically. 7 of Wands. Defensive, protective energy. Interesting. Physical health. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. And spiritual health. Hermit. in reverse. So the world can often mean that we are feeling as if we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. And of course, that's not an easy position to be in. You know, just feeling like you have so much on your plate, or you have to do everything. I'm gonna jump to love, because having not necessarily anything to do with love, but definitely a lot to do with the Hermit, and the Seven of Wands. I mean, it's possible that you are not spending enough time around, you know, other people who are into similar things as you, and maybe your mate, maybe, you know, if you're in an actual relationship already. But going to something that perhaps is more positive about the world, it can definitely be about a card of completion, though, saying, yes, you have worked hard and you're almost at the finish line. So, you know, maybe this is you. You feel like you have so much going on and you've done so much work, and maybe you haven't spent time around your loved ones as a result, or, you know, your mate or whatever, and it's possible your relationships are suffering. But at the same time, you're almost at the finish line, so it's like you can't quit now. You're so close. So go ahead and finish out, you know, whatever it is you're dealing with. And it could be some sort of karmic completion too, like something that is a block or lesson for you that you have to complete in order to be able to spend more time around, you know, other people in your relations. It's also an excellent time to think about how good you are at asking for help when you need it, and remembering that you don't necessarily have to do everything on your own. Actually, people, you know, we typically don't have to do everything on our own. It's like there tends to be somebody that we can ask for help, or to whom we can delegate something, and get some assistance, you know, in doing whatever it is we're trying to do. In terms of work specifically, there's a good chance that you're working like way too hard for far too little recognition, and maybe far too little money. And I'm going to jump now to the Knight of Swords in that placement of work too. It's possible that somebody else, this could be where that competition was coming in that we saw in the beginning with the Knight of Pentacles reversed. It's possible that somebody at your job is taking credit or will attempt to take credit for your work this week. So that could be where the competition is. And again, you can come out on top of this, especially if you know, watch your back and speak up for yourself if you need to, you know, and all of that sort of thing. If you are not getting the recognition that you in fact deserve, this is a good week. As a matter of fact, forget about being a good week. It's important if you fall into that situation where somebody else is taking credit for your work, or again, you're working way too hard, you're not getting recognized for it, or both. It's important that you toot your own horn, you know, a little. Maybe not, don't be obnoxious or like conceited about it. But yeah, it's important that you make sure that the powers that be don't accidentally overlook you for any, you know, of your many accomplishments and contributions to their workplace, their business, or whatever it is, their establishment. Let me jump to love, because we're going to talk more about finances later, but just still thinking about the world. If you are in a long time, or have been in a long time, like committed relationship, you should find it like improving right now. Especially, what doesn't mean that it's been bad, even if it's been decent. It's just like rising to new heights now. And that may be due again to some sort of completion of something, or again, perhaps even karmic completion specifically, that allows for, you know, an energy shift and for things to improve. And, you know, things in the love department should be pretty good, and maybe even kind of interesting. you know, like new stuff happening maybe. If you are single, particularly if you're traveling, you know, this week, or, you know, you're in the market for a relationship, you may meet somebody while you're away. And this can be true even if the travel is, you know, like locally, not very far away at all. So don't be afraid to talk to strangers this week, you know, reasonably. All right, so moving on to the first card, or the card that most directly represents the collective this week, the Two of Cups. In general, this card says that things are likely to be going well for us. We should be feeling, you know, particularly loved and cared for and content and happy, and, you know, like we want to connect with other people. Can definitely refer to romantic partnership, but that's not its only, you know, meaning or connotation. It can also speak of balance, friendship, you know, familial relationships, sharing, and partnership of all different kinds. It's sitting here next to the Two of Wands, though, which is another card of balance, for sure, and partnership. And this one may be even a little bit more so in terms of the balance, though, than even the Two of Cups, even though like all twos can be about balance. But this one warns us that maybe we're not even getting enough sleep, enough rest. And that could tie back to the action and the rest and rejuvenation card. So again, maybe we're particularly busy right now. We've got a lot on our plate. The weight of the world is on our shoulders, but we need to complete whatever it is we're doing. So go ahead and take action, finish your work, and then get some rest, because that could be why this card is showing up, the Two of Wands. But it also, of course, particularly in this placement, it's likely about, you know, something that we have going on with another person. As I mentioned already, it is the twin flame card of the tarot. So these cards together could mean something really, really special for relationships this week, and for single people, you know, in terms of new relationships. Maybe, you know, getting contacted or something. In general, though, the Two of Wands reminds us to stay, you know, to keep in mind that relationships require give and take in order to be successful. And this is all types of relationships, not just romantic. And if things are feeling out of balance, or have been feeling out of balance with somebody, or in your relationships in general, that, you know, so be confident about this. Again, remain positive. Don't let somebody steal that from you. Change your energy. Know that things are about to get like substantially better, like, you know, a lot better, noticeably better. So just, you know, stay focused and remain positive, basically. So moving on to the Knight of Swords in reverse. Again, when this card shows up and you're already working, you know, watch your back. Watch out for a coworker who may be trying to take credit for your work. You know, make sure that you have a proper paper trail. Swords are about, you know, communications and records and things, right? So make sure that you have like receipts, as they say, and backups. You got an email proving that you know, did something and you did it the correct way. And, you know, maybe you have an actual physical receipt, a copy of something. You know, just keep your records, whatever that means for you in your job, right? Someone may also try to blame something on you, like blame you for a problem that wasn't your fault. Again, it's going to help if you are able to stand up for yourself, defend yourself, because, you know, protect yourself because you have records. This is definitely a good time for you to also polish up your resume. Not suggesting you lose your job, but you know, particularly actually if you're not working and you've been maybe looking and just feels like nothing's working, it's a good week to polish up your resume and do any, you know, like background work that you may have to do in terms of, you know, seeking a job rather than necessarily actively seeking work this week. You know, so you do like the other stuff, like, well, let me get a new dress to wear to my interviews this week, you know, rather than actually going door to door and knocking for a job. Let me prepare for, you know, when it is the proper time. Finances. Again, somebody may try to like swindle you, scam you out of some money, or may ask you to like let's say you're trying to buy something, you know, may try to charge you more than the item is worth, or, you know, something funky. And again, this could be tied to the Seven of Swords too that we saw in the beginning. Just do your homework. Don't let like, you know, flashy, fast talkers and all that kind of stuff, you know, talk your wallet out of your pockets. And that could also be talking about this coworker again, like they'd be trying to swindle you out of maybe a paycheck, out of a bonus, out of, you know, a prize, a recognition, an award, something from the boss, by taking your work. So again, you know, watch your back in either case. Seven of Swords, love and relationship. So if you're already committed and, you know, you feel like you have something to say to your partner, this is the week to not be afraid. Like, don't hesitate to speak up. So this could also be tied to like the Magician and the Seven of Swords. You know, don't let anybody like steal your voice or make you feel afraid to use it. Definitely speak your mind to this person. This is only going to improve the relationship as long as you're being considerate of the way in which you're speaking your mind. You know, there's a way to say things. Not saying like bite your tongue, but, you know, just you don't have to be unnecessarily hurtful to get your point across. Let me put it that way. If you're single, then this card can indicate that you're about to meet somebody, and they would be away from your usual spots where you're used. So they could be tied to, again, you know, in your travels. So it's away from your normal haunts, maybe because, you know, you live in Brooklyn, but you came here to Manhattan. Then you meet somebody, you know, like that. You live in LA, but you went to San Francisco for the weekend. Something like that. And this person, again, could be a twin flame relationship, or at least a Two of Cups relationship, which would be one that is genuine and reciprocal and balanced and healthy, right? Not a toxic relationship. Although twin flame relationships can be very toxic, especially in the beginning. But that's part of it, right? The karmic lessons and stuff. All right. Yeah, so basically, for the singles, try something new. And maybe go somewhere new. Physical health. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. This card really urges us to put some work into our health. You know, to take some sort of action in order to improve our health. This, I'm feeling, could be like getting over an addiction, so maybe eating too much, not eating enough. You know, be careful about eating disorders in either direction. Smoking, drinking, drugging. It's urging us, this card, to do something, take some sort of action to improve our health. So like to rid ourselves of these things. There's always something that can be done. And if we don't know what we should be doing, or if we're, you know, like having symptoms of something that we don't know what it is or how to fix it, then we should seek help from a medical professional. You know, ignoring things does not lead to healing. It just doesn't, and it won't. So I'm also getting like, if we don't take action, then, you know, we could end up maybe laid out, not of our own accord. You know, you could end up like your body will force you to take the rest if you don't, do something yourself. Maybe you end up in the hospital or something, like God forbid, but that's what I just got. So again, we're being urged to take some sort of action this week with our health. Spiritual health, the Hermit in reverse. So this card too can mean that we have too much going on, and that we've been trying to do like too much on our own. So similar to the other cards that have come up here, yes, it's for our spiritual benefit, and we felt like we've been doing the right thing. So I spend a lot of time by myself, and I'm meditating, and I'm doing that, and all those things are wonderful. Personal, private, introspection, contemplation, meditation. All these things are super important, but so is like fellowship with other people, and like-minded people of a similar vibration to our own, or higher vibration than our own, from whom we can learn something, is also important. So this is what the Hermit in reverse is guiding us to do. And in the case of spiritually based relationships, I have to look at that also. It's maybe guiding us again to connect with a mate that with whom we have a spiritual connection, and maybe again spend some time on our relationships, allow ourselves some time for our relationships, which again, I understand may be difficult to do this week because our overall energy is the prevailing one, and that is the world. And so some of us have something that we have to complete before we're able to do this. But when it's complete, get to these other things, if you can't do it, right now. And I have so much stuff to talk to you guys about other than the cards in terms of what else is going on this week. I don't know if I should pull any of these, but I guess I'll go ahead and do some. I won't shuffle them. I apologize, but just trust that I did shuffle them before I started the reading. So again, our overall energy is the Magician. Just move them back so that you can see me actually pull the cards, so that I'm able to put my hands in front of the camera here. All right. So joining the Two of Cups, we have the Seven of Cups, a complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. So again, this can be with regard to balance and or relationships that we need to make a decision. Also shows we have options, maybe as to with whom we partner on different things, or whether or not to renew a partnership if we've been in separation with somebody. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a friend. This can be business. Seven of Cups in terms of sex and lust and stuff, which could also maybe be attached to this, can be representative of one-night stands for me too. So joining the surrounding energy placement, the Two of Wands, we have the Four of Pentacles, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. So this can also have to do with a partnering in terms of business in particular, and generosity. So this could be sharing. We talked about how the Two of Wands can be about sharing. The Four of Pentacles for me in general tends to be about the need to let something in our life that is blocking us go. And so that can also be, what the card is meaning for some of us here. Something is blocking perhaps a partnership, and again, perhaps even a romantic relationship, a soulmate relationship, a twin flame relationship, work and finance. Queen of Swords now. She is independent, experienced, realistic and witty, objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. Well, the Queen of Swords joining the Knight of Swords again. So this is going to be about communications and making sure that, you set the record straight. Queen of Swords is not a punk. All right, she's going to defend herself. She's going to have her records. Love and relationship, joining the Seven of Wands. Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. So this could be representative, again, of somebody who's working very hard and maybe therefore hasn't put time into their relationships. This can be about a relationship between people who are very, very different. And meeting somebody who is quite different from you. And again, maybe away from your usual haunts and a different type of atmosphere and place. And maybe that person is older or, more mature or more secure and has more stability than you. It could even be something so simple as, they are like a neat freak and you're a little sloppy. I'm still getting something very, very positive from it, though. And the Emperor is also representative of the planet Mars, again, which recently moved into Scorpio and is a ruler of Scorpio. So it's a Scorpio may be particularly involved here in whatever the situation is. I say all that to say. Joining the Eight of Pentacles in reverse in the physical health, we have Major Arcana card 18, the Moon. And again, the Moon can be about being confused and an illusion and not really knowing what's going on and maybe letting that get to us and therefore being afraid, to take any action. And no. The guidance is that it's important, these are important psychic insights. So you're getting inklings when you're getting symptoms and you're getting, messages as to from your body, you should check me out. These are important psychic insights. There are events happening behind the scenes and you need to release the fears that are holding you back from, again, either taking action yourself or seeing a medical professional. The Moon, Major Arcana card 18, most directly represents the sign of Pisces. But the new moon that occurs this week will be in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio actually rules health and stuff. Yeah, health, good health. And last but not least, the spiritual health placement. Wow, we have the Queen of Cups. And this card also most directly represents the sign of Scorpio, but of course is representative of the other water signs as well. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, as well as somebody who's not a water sign at all, but likened to the traits and attributes of one. So tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Also perhaps particularly psychic or intuitive. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So here we're talking about the lack of a relationship and the need for relationship and the need for fellowship with other people. So again, the guidance is there that you do that, and this is saying that the outcome will be positive for you if you do. So I won't use the others because I showed you what was at, I showed you the first couple cards were at the bottom of the deck when they were revealed to me as I moved the deck over. Well, maybe we'll do it this way. Which ones were the ones we saw? Simply because I do not want to take the time to shuffle these at this late time. So we saw the envy. We saw the 7th chakra. We saw the indecision. So the next card I think we did not look at, and I'll put that here to join the 2 of Cups. And it's man holding a coin. So perhaps it's that King of Pentacles again. Or somebody else who wants to be generous to you, who wants to share with you, who wants to partner with you. Here joining this this 2 of Cups. And so that could be the decision you need to make. And it's interesting that the card that precedes him is indecision. So that's what the Seven of Cups represents. Maybe we need to figure it out. Joining the surrounding energy in the Two of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, we have daughter romance. It actually was in reverse, but daughter romance in reverse. Work and finance, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So it's more of this air energy. Gabriel is, of course, the messenger. He is responsible for the throat chakra. So again, speaking up for yourself, speaking, defending yourself, making sure communications are right and the right word gets across. Gabriel will help you do that. And love and relationship. Door to spirit. So again, this could be talking about a spiritually based relationship, and maybe that's why you and this other person are so different. Again, that's how twin flame relationships often are, and that's why they're so difficult, challenging, I'll say, in the beginning, because, well, not in the very beginning, they're usually not challenging at all. And it's when we start to be very 3D and earthly, and start thinking about like what society thinks and what, the way things are supposed to be, I don't know who made the rules up, but the way things are supposed to be, is when we start focusing on those things and getting caught up in that, is when the relationship gets challenging and tends to fall apart. And then each person has to experience different life lessons, and then maybe they can come back together. But it's a spiritually based situation, a spiritually based relationship. Physical health, we have appreciation in reverse, and spiritual health, Angel of Balance. I'm deciding if I want to say anything else about these. Well, I'll say that the daughter romance in reverse, the card number, I almost said major arcana card 33. Card number 33 in reverse does talk about like delay or disappointment with regard to love or, a particular connection in a present relationship. It could also, be about distance or separation. So that more ties into my other meaning of the Four of Pentacles. So when I said like, it tends to be about something that's blocking, that's causing a delay, causing a challenge, and it's an obstacle to this partnership or something. For some, it can feel for us that like the door to relationships is just closed. It's been closed for a long time, but there's things that we can do to work on making changes. Like maybe, again, letting go of something, getting rid of something that is an obstacle to us, that is blocking us. We're aware of this thing. I describe the Four of Pentacles as this card that, I used to use an example of work. When you have this kind of job where you hate the job, you hate the people there, they hate you, but you're like, but I get a paycheck. It's like, yeah, but the job sucks. Get a new job, right? You could do better. And of course, the same can be applied to relationships and all of that. So it's something like that you should get rid of, but you haven't, that is causing this delay or problem, the way that I would read that card. So basically, it's about the fact that we can create our own happiness when you look at it that way. So I already talked about the man holding a coin. Now I've talked about the daughter romance. We talked about the fifth chakra and Archangel Gabriel being the messenger. So there's something that needs to be communicated, perhaps spoken. If you need the words, he will help you to, again, defend yourself. Daughter spirit upright is, as I was saying, about moving beyond like the earthly to a deeper understanding of higher love, source, and basically the limitless potential, because when we think about things from a 3D perspective, we limit ourselves. Like, oh, I can't do that. Like I was saying, for example, the emperor might be an older man, older person. I can't date an older man. That's frowned upon. You know, what my friends say, what my mom say, what my dad say, what my, you know, whatever. I don't know. But if you're grown and the person's grown, you know, who cares what anybody says if you feel a spiritual connection to this person. So that's what that would be about. Moving beyond the earthly to the more spiritual way of thinking, into your higher self and a higher level of thought, you know, and that, which is very Piscean. I wonder if it has anything to do with Neptune, which is still retrograde in Pisces, by the way. And speaking more of Pisces, that brings us to the physical health. So we have the moon, we have appreciation in reverse. And appreciation in reverse is kind of like a warning that there's some important opportunities that we're missing out on. And we've sort of like lost our sense of, how do you say? Appreciation. That's not the word I was trying to think of, but appreciation could be it. And so it would be like focusing on what we don't have. So in terms of health and the Eight of Pentacles, meaning that you need to work on improving your health, it would be like, well, I would improve my health, but you know, I don't have a Fitbit. You know, I can't count my steps. I don't have an Apple Watch. You know, I would go for a walk or, you know, check my heart rate or whatever, but I can't. I would do some exercise, but I don't have a gym membership, you know. And it's like, come on, like you can, there are things that you can do to work on your health and that you need to do. So again, the Eight of Pentacles comes with that urging that we need to do it. So to the two cards together, I mean, like, stop with the excuses and recognize what you do have, what you do have to work with. Be appreciative of those things, of the fact that you woke up in the morning. You even have an opportunity to exercise or to lose weight or to quit smoking or to quit drinking or whatever. You've been given another chance, and do it. And lastly, the Angel of Balance, it's kind of self-explanatory. It does speak of more balance coming to your life, where things have been out of sync. So in this case of the spiritual health and the Hermit, meaning that we may have been out of balance in terms of we've been spending a lot of time by ourselves and working on our spirituality or toward our spirituality or in our spiritual practices sort of privately and on our own, and not doing much, you know, sharing with other people or fellowshipping with other people or engaging in relationships of any kind necessarily. Some more balance in that area. Like, we can begin to incorporate that. And also, she has this picture of water, so it's very Aquarius to me, you know, the water bearer. And the sign of Aquarius is all about, you know, humanitarianism and working with other people or for the good of other people. So I think that energy supports us this well in this area this week. And that's all I have for you. Hope you guys have enjoyed the weekly general reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. It's supposed to help the channel. It hasn't yet, but I still appreciate you doing it, because YouTube says that that's what needs to be done, you know, and with their funky algorithm. If you're willing to stick around, I'm going to go over, like I said, other things that are happening this week. This is the time when I pick up my big heavy dinosaur of a laptop, put it on my lap, just did that, turn it on, just did that, wait for it to start up so I can sign in. All right, so it's like it came on. You know when the mouse won't move? Okay, there we go. So I am now signing in. Jeez. Oh, I was just about to apologize for how slow it is today. Okay. Where are we going to start? Christian calendar. Again, today, the 31st of Halloween, is also known as the Feast of All Hallows Eve. Tomorrow, All Saints Day, is also known as the Feast of All Hallows. And All Saints Day is also known as Hallowmas, in addition to All Hallows Day. And it is the day after All Hallows Eve, which again is Halloween. That's where the name comes from. The ween is the eve. And it's a feast day celebrated on November 1st by Anglicans and Roman Catholics for the most part. It's an opportunity for believers to remember all saints and martyrs, known and unknown, throughout Christian history. So that is the purpose of All Saints Day. Not to be confused with Tuesday, the 2nd, which is All Souls Day. And that is a day meant for the commemoration of all people who have passed away that we believe may be in purgatory. And if you're like Christian and maybe particularly Catholic, that would be because you feel that they died with like a lesser sin on their soul, some of the lesser sins that wouldn't have sent them to hell. So in the Catholic religion, there are venial sins, which are like the lesser sins, the sort of like white lies, and mortal sins, which are the ones that you can't come back from. That's the belief, right, at least. And so if you pass away with these venial sins on your soul, the Catholic belief is that you end up in purgatory. So you end up somewhere in between hell and heaven. And so for those people who are believed to be in purgatory, All Souls is the day where we would pray for them that they, that they be absolved, their souls be cleansed of those sins that they died with, that they left with, and that those souls be permitted into heaven. So it's a day where you pray for your dead. That's the Christian calendar. On the Hebrew calendar, on the 5th, as I mentioned briefly in the beginning, the month of Kislev begins. And for a little bit more on Kislev, I actually brought up the page, www.shabbat.org. Kislev is the 9th month of the Jewish calendar counting from Nisan. It's best known for the holiday of Hanukkah, which begins on the 25th of Kislev. The message of Hanukkah is the eternal power of light over darkness, good over evil. Aside from commemorating the miraculous victory of the small Jewish army over the mighty Syrian Greek Empire, Hanukkah celebrates the miracle of the oil, when the Jews sought to light the temple menorah after the war. They found only one small jug of pure oil. Miraculously, the one-day oil supply burned for 8 days, and the sages instituted the 8-day festival of Hanukkah, during which we kindle the menorah nightly. In this month, we celebrate the redemption also of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of Chabad Hasidism, who had been imprisoned on false charges by the Tsarist regime. These charges were reflective of spiritual charges brought against him for openly teaching the deepest insights of the Torah. On the 19th of Kislev, he was freed, paving the way, both physically and spiritually, to continue teaching Hasidism. This day is referred to as the New Year of Hasidism. That would be the 19th of Kislev. So that's the Jewish calendar. Also on the Hindu or Indian calendar, we have Dhanteras. Okay, and for that I went to indiatoday.in. All right, it's not a page that I'm familiar with. It was the first one that popped up. And Dhanteras is the first day of the 5-day-long Diwali festivities. It's celebrated on the 13th lunar day of Krishna Paksha in the Hindu calendar month of Kartik. On the day, goddess Lakshmi came out of the ocean during the churning of the Milky Sea. This year, Dhanteras will be celebrated or observed on Tuesday, November 2nd. The day of Dhanteras is also observed as Dhanvatri Jayanti, the birth anniversary of the god Ayurveda. It is believed that Lord Dhanvantari bestowed the wisdom of Ayurveda to mankind to help get rid of the suffering of disease. Interestingly, the minister observed Dhanteras as the National Ayurveda Day. There is common belief that Goddess Lakshmi visits the homes of her devotees and fulfills their wishes on Dhanteras. Therefore, on this day, people light diyas, which is also oil lamps. We were just talking about oil lamps with the Hindu and the 8 days of oil. Diyas are oil lamps also. They keep them burning all through the night in honor of Lakshmi. On this day, Goddess Lakshmi, along with Lord Kubera, who is the god of wealth, is worshipped. Maybe he's also another meaning for the man holding a coin. Because this card, I don't think I mentioned it, it can also be about somebody coming to assist you, perhaps with finances. It's believed that the Deepak pleases Lord Yama, and he protects the family members from any accidental death also. So there's a lot going on with this. It's important. Since this day is considered extremely auspicious, Hindus make new purchases, especially of gold or silver articles and new utensils. Some people even purchase appliances and automobiles. It's believed that making a purchase on this day brings good luck, splendor, and health benefits. So especially with this card sitting right atop, above the physical health one, when we need to take some sort of action, maybe some of the action that some of you are going to take or needing to take is to make a purchase. Maybe that will improve your health. Whether it's because it brings you luck or, it's something that you need perhaps for your health. So that is Dhanteras. We'll talk more about Diwali itself briefly, okay? Diwali celebrates Rama's eventual defeat of the evil spirit Ravana and his triumphant return to his home. The business community considers it an auspicious time to start new ventures, as the festival coincides with the Hindu New Year. Also, on the same time period, it's also Black Solidarity Day. So I guess Black Solidarity Day would be Monday, November 1st. And the reason I say that is because it's the Monday before Election Day in America. And the election day this year is November 2nd, Tuesday, November 2nd. So I did bring up a page. This was random too. It looks like it's an NYU, New York University page. I'm just going to read the little first paragraph of what they call brief history. Activist, ambassador, and professor Dr. Carlos Russell created Black Solidarity Day in 1969. He was inspired by a play written by Douglas Turner Ward, Day of Absence, in which Black residents of a fictional southern town disappear, revealing to the town's white residents the extent to which the lives depend on Black labor. Excerpts of the play are available on the National Humanities Center's website, and the full text of the play may also be found at your local library. On Black Solidarity Day, Black and African diasporic, so this is all people of African descent, whether Afro-Asian, Afro-Latino, whatever you consider yourself, right? If you are part of the African diaspora. People from any, Caribbean nations, all of that, everybody, all over. These people are asked to stay home from work and school and to not shop or participate in other commercial activities. This day is meant to highlight racial injustices, societal inequities, and to illuminate how Black voices are integral to American life. So basically what they're saying is, picture a day where all the, descendants of African people, again, whatever ethnicity you are, all the descendants of African people stayed home. And basically, there were only, for at least for the most part, white people outside to go to work and go to school. What would that mean? How would that day play out? They'd likely be, nobody to drive the cabs or to nanny the kids or, to be the maids, to be the janitors, to be the, the laborers. So you'd notice that these people weren't there, is the idea. But a lot of people don't celebrate it, particularly anymore. I think they just don't know about it. I've always tried to teach about it on the channel. Every year I mention it. It is something that I always celebrated when I was in high school or when I was in school. My mother did not make me go to school on Black Solidarity Day. All right, moving on to the planetary calendar or celestial calendar. So yesterday, October 30th, at 10:21 a.m., Mars entered Scorpio. So I was saying Friday. It was actually Saturday, it looks like. And we talked about that in last week's general reading. Nothing else of note, particular note, occurs until November 4th. So when we're like halfway through the week. At 5:14 p.m., or more than half maybe, right? It's past Wednesday. 5:14 p.m., the new moon in Scorpio occurs, 12 degrees Scorpio. On November 5th, at 6:44 a.m., Venus enters Capricorn, 0 degrees Capricorn. Also on November 5th, at 6:35 p.m., Mercury enters Scorpio, 0 degrees Scorpio. And that's the last thing for this week. So for a little more about Venus in Capricorn and Mercury in Scorpio, for both, I went to www.tarot.com. So we'll start with Venus in Capricorn, loyal, determined, and trustworthy. This is certainly an interesting cosmic combination. On one hand, there is Venus, which is the planet of love, acceptance, pleasure, and the arts. On the other hand, you have earthly and Saturn-ruled Capricorn, whose focus is on commitment and work. This means that Venus in Capricorn is a time of approaching our relationships in a more mature way, and when our romances become bound by rules. So when alluring Venus moves into hardworking Capricorn, will we be encouraged to take a hard stance on romance? Love must be earned when Venus is in this sign. Effort counts as much as heart if we want to receive the approval of others. Relationships are built on shared goals and a willingness to get through even the most difficult of times. Venus in Capricorn rewards hard work in relationships, helping to define problems and making a commitment to solve them. We take our relationships a lot more seriously when loving Venus moves into committed Capricorn. This transit challenges us to put in the effort needed to get the love and affection that we truly desire. For those who are coupled, this is their chance to work through problems or have deep conversations about what they envision for the future. And what about those looking for love? This is their opportunity to ditch flighty flirtations in favor of long-lasting love. With Venus in Capricorn, we want our romantic affairs to go the distance. In addition to its impact on love and relationships, Venus in Capricorn has the same serious effect on all things relating to beauty. This transit may urge us to trade in flashy pieces of clothing and edgy hairdos for a more subdued style. It's also a great time to get started on any artistic endeavors that we've been considering. Not only do we have an enhanced ability for building and creating things, but Capricorn also gives Venus the dedication needed to start projects and to see them all the way through to the finish line. Venus in Capricorn has a strong business aspect to it, and it could bring up times or themes of reevaluating the worth that we bring to our chosen professions. And again, not being afraid to speak up on that worth and what you've been contributing, especially if somebody else is trying to claim that they've been doing it. We might ask ourselves if we've been getting the validation that we need from our employer. That's exactly what we saw in the reading. Or whether or not we are climbing up the ladder of success the way we had hoped. There is incredible potential for reconnecting with our own inner authority. Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And owning up to whatever it is that we need to do to take our career to the next level. It goes on to talk about what it means if you were born with Venus in Capricorn. If you were and you want to read about that, again, I got it from www.tarot.com. I am moving on, however, to Mercury in Scorpio. Sharp, inquisitive, mysterious. Mercury plunges into the depths when it enters passionate and private Scorpio. Mercury is the planet that influences how we think and communicate. But while it moves through this watery sign, our thoughts mix with our feelings and inspire us to ask questions and to get to the bottom of what's happening in our lives. Ideas, conversations, and people who are shallow or superficial have no power during Mercury in Scorpio. Instead, this is a time of depth and intimacy and can be very effective period to talk about difficult issues regarding relationships, money, and mortality. Scorpio thrives in the dark, the realm of secrets and lies, questions and answers, death and transformation. It is an extremely inquisitive sign that is never satisfied with what is simply lying on the surface. Scorpio knows that the real treasures are found when you dig a little deeper. So while mental Mercury moves through the sign of the Scorpion, we all start asking more questions and searching for hidden meanings. But we may not be happy with what we discover. When Mercury travels through Scorpio, it's like Mercury is shining a light on all the darkest parts of ourselves. We become more aware of our fears and our desires and the ways that others' lives impact our own. We can bond in much more intimate ways because we're able to discuss topics that are normally off limits. But Mercury in Scorpio brings out the skeptic in all of us. While it may feel like we're searching for something wrong in every situation, it's really about emphasizing our negative thinking to get positive results. By eliminating information and ideas that don't serve our needs, we make room for those that will. Our minds are also more suspicious when Mercury is in Scorpio because it's a time that emphasizes secrecy and privacy. We're quick to assume that there are things going on that we don't know about. But if we push too hard to try to get to the truth, which is very likely under Scorpio's persistent influence, we risk creating long-term issues of intimacy and mistrust. That said, Mercury in Scorpio does have the potential to foster greater intimacy as well, because we're more willing to ask the really hard questions. We might finally get the answers we need to grow closer in the process. And it goes on to talk about what it means if Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, or if you were born with Mercury in Scorpio. And again, if you would like to read those, I got them from www.tarot.com. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. That is our general reading for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with love. Namaste.